No one can hear me? Oh my gosh.
Now we can.
Yeah, we're gonna just turn up the microphone just a second because we have a lot of chit chatters in here today, which is what we want to welcome here at 1 Million Cups. We want you all to feel like you're part of a family and that the people that you're meeting here are worth seeing this morning. You know, I mean, we're all worth meeting, of course, but they're worth seeing and spending time with this morning. So welcome to 1 Million Cups. My name is Melissa Wilson. I'm one of the organizers for the 1 Million Cups community here at DetroitMetro. We exist because we are here to educate, inspire, and connect entrepreneurs, and not just here in Detroit, but nationwide. So 1 Million Cups, the program, right? If you're not familiar, I see quite a few new faces in here today, which, you know, calling you to raise your hand here in just a moment. But 1 Million Cups happens around the United States. We have over 107 communities. It is a Kauffman Foundation program for which our community is running basically the licensed framework. We volunteer to run it because we want us to exist here for you. And as you can see on the slide, we provide ideas and connections and tools for success. The reason that Kauffman set this program up was so that they could help build ecosystems for startup entrepreneurs where they could access their services in their community, as well as sit in the same room with each other, because often it feels like you're kind of on your own island doing this, right? So we are radically inclusive. We foster open and honest conversations. We do have 1 to 2 presenters every week, and we are not pitching at this event. This is what makes us different. If you're presenting your business, you're presenting a business challenge about your business. And the business challenge, there are 2 things that you cannot talk about. 1, that you need sales and you want all of us here to buy your thing. And then 2, you need investment and you want to make sure anyone here that's a VC or somebody who's offering grants gives you the money. Those are the only 2 things you cannot present on, believe it or not. So it works. It actually works. If you present what you have as a business challenge and we can support you to move forward, we get the idea of what it is you're trying to put out there. All of us that are entrepreneurs know what it feels like to need to garner a sale and a converted sale, and we know what it means to, I only had an extra $50,000 or whatever it is, right? So this platform here is to give presenters a couple of minutes to talk about their challenge. Now, speaking of presenters and challenges and all that, actually, I'd like to introduce somebody who's visiting this week, our sister community, which is Ginger, and then, you know, here, Matt, I just like my
So about 1 year ago, next week, will be my first year anniversary at 1 Million Cups. And I'll try not to get emotional. It was when I came across the street and I met this woman. And who else did I see? I saw Daryl. And it was about 3 meetings. And I'm like, I have to create this in Ann Arbor. I can't ethically drive an hour to commute, you know, once a week. And so we started building the blocks. She and Daryl helped me navigate, and we launched it with another person who came to Ann Arbor. He had experienced 1 Million Cups in Florida, and he was seeking community. So he was brand new to the area. I was kind of old to the area, but was craving something new. And Emefa is one of my organizers too, so I'm here to cheer her on. We would love to have you. We're at Bamboo Ann Arbor every Wednesday, same time. So you have to make a choice between here and there. That's right. That's tough. If I could clone myself, I would just be here on both. So yeah, you're welcome. Please come see me or Emefa.
All right. Yeah. Thank you very much. All right, I just wanted to give everybody a because yay, we spawned another community that's so exciting. So, and I know I have talked in the past about a Detroit community. We're on hold with the Kauffman Foundation right now. I know Danielle's here, wants to partner with me to make that happen, but we'll know probably at the end of July whether we can open that new community or not. All right, so welcome. So speaking of community, how many people have been here before? Can you raise your hand if you've been here before? Now look at that. If that is not a testimonial that you guys want to keep coming back here because we're a safe and inclusive space, I really appreciate that. Now, this is also a big testament. Who has presented their business challenge here before? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent. All right, see, thank you for coming back. I'm assuming you are coming back not only because you like us, but because the way that you were helped, you want to be able to provide that back to the community, right? So that's why we do this. All right, anyone who is new, if you could raise your hand, we actually have a gift for you. So keep your hands up. Thank you guys for coming today. Hopefully you're learning about what it is that we do here. We're giving everyone a 1 Million Cups journal, which is part of the swag that they provide to us, along with the coffee mugs that you guys are using for coffee today. Remember, those stay in the house, the coffee mugs stay in the house. And if you have an orange mug, usually that means you're a past presenter. So thank you guys for coming. I'm gonna go one more slide, Daryl. This is not clicking. Technical difficulties today. What is the next slide? I could just start.
Okay, try it now.
No, I could try my clicker now. Sorry, guys. What is the next slide, Daryl? Is it presenters or is it presenters?
Yes.
All right, we're working on getting the next slide up, but if any of you here want to be presenters,
There we go.
like the people here in the room, upcoming presenters. So May 14th, this is who we have coming up next. Workbook, Work Belt and Talent Solutions is my work belt here in the room.
No,
Usually here every single week. And then Erica Monet Group and Steady Growth, then the Bold Zone and Ascension School of Healing Arts. We have a presenting sponsor that, we actually have a updating sponsor for June 4th. I don't know why I'm saying sponsor. Now I'm thrown off because the thing's thrown off. An updating presenter who just recently presented in Ann Arbor, right? Andrea just presented for business there and she presented with us in October. So one of the benefits to becoming a presenter is that you can do it in both communities, right? And as you can see, we have a bunch of dates open in June. Ann Arbor is booking in July now, right? So they're fully booked in May and June and booking in July. That is because they only allow one speaker so that you get a little bit more time. But here we're doing 2 speakers, as you can see up on the slide. Next slide, Daryl, is if you want to become a speaker. So even if it isn't showing up there, you want to go to 1millioncups.com/present, and then you'll have a very short 3 or 4 question application that you need to fill out. A couple of things that are important if you are considering being a presenter is to say who referred you, because that referral person is the person who gets to maybe coach you and have you do a presentation up here. And then just tell us what your business challenge is, right? Those are the 2 questions really that are in that. And then let's go to the next slide. So coffee sponsors. So to be a coffee sponsor, where's Carmen? You see, and I'm using your slides here, Daryl. Using your slides here, Carmen, because I think they're so good. So if you want to be a coffee sponsor like Mr. Al is today, this is the process. You contact Incubizo or you email DetroitMetro at 1millioncups.com, and then you connect with Carmen and she will set you up, and then you get a couple minutes up here on the microphone to pitch your business. So the only people who can pitch here are the coffee sponsors. All right, next slide. I also wanted to give a shout out to Incubizo. So Incubizo has been kindly offering this space for us to have the meetings. So thank you, Incubizo, for this space. Incubizo is also looking for people to become a member, and these are some of the benefits that you can have if you become a member of this workspace. So just wanted to give us a little shout out for that. All right, next slide. All right, and then signing in. Do we have an iPad passing around the room here? Has anyone seen the iPad? So who has not signed in using the iPad today? All right, so if you can pass the iPad to some people that are raising their hands so that they can log in. Try and sign in on that before you leave, because that's how we keep track of who's here at the building. All right, next slide. All right, it's time for our coffee sponsor, Mr. Al, who is an Emmy-winning veteran with a business background, and he is coming up to give us a little chat today about what he's doing in his life now. And then
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to thank A Million Cups. I've been around a long time. This is the best venue I've ever seen. If you want to learn about business leadership and get motivated and pumped up like I am, and this is only my 3rd time here, please get involved. Thank you for allowing me to share my journey with you. It started with my godson when he asked me the question, Uncle Al, what is a veteran? And I'm going to make a bold statement. What I'm doing, my leadership and personal growth programs, nobody in the country is doing. Nobody. I know, but Ask yourself who has a mission statement like I have. What I do for free, no obligations attached. I'm not a 501(c)(3) charity or foundation. I have no skin in the game. I do my own sales and marketing, my own R&D. I have no staff. I do my own content, and I do it all by myself with no fundraiser. And I do it out of my own pocket, out of the 20 bucks my wife gives me for allowance. Now I think I'm getting screwed because after 55 years of marriage, I think I should be getting $1 a year. I worked on my credibility and reputation. I wrote, produced, and starred in a film that won an Emmy Award. I've been coaching kids for 10 years in school with summer camps. I work with notified police and firefighters leadership program. I've done 100 presentations, thousands of 5-star reviews. I've been recognized by the President of the United States, the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library, and the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. I don't represent any company. I'm not advertising or selling anything. I'm not asking for anything. I don't endorse any group, culture, religion. I'm not telling you which way to go this way or that way. I don't care. You care about your success. I'm just trying to give back and help you be successful and happy. That's all I'm trying to do. Many men and women died on a beach, a jungle, a desert. A first responder died the other day on the city street. My whole family sacrificed for me. What's my legacy going to be? And my legacy is trying to give back. So for the last 17 years, here's where I am and where I'm going. I call on schools, government, libraries, businesses. We have created a bureaucratic regulation, red tape system. And as a friend told me, he says, Mr. Allen, everybody's listening to WIFM. I said, what channel is that? What's in it for me? What's in it for me? To overcome this has been difficult, but I've had a little bit of a success. So I started about 6 years ago. I created an SMS texting classroom. I had 100 students. It lasted for 2.5 years. Then I went to online to see if I could be an influencer. And it's really the best results because I've reached about 250,000 people. It's great feedback and analytics. I'm exploring Instagram right now because I want to find out why the cat videos are doing so damn good. Yeah. And I created 6 class programs where this fall, which is interpersonal, personal skills, connecting with people. Because the internet, you really don't connect until you really, it's a people-to-people thing. I asked an old timer once, what business are you in? And he says, Al, I'm in the same business you are. I'm in the people business. And we all have to deal with individuals and get involved. So last year, I did 700 kids, the most I did at the middle school in South Lyon. I told the kids I knocked on your door for 10 years. 10 years I knocked on your door. You were 3 years old when I got started. 3 years old. Never, ever, ever give up on your dreams. Never give up. Thank you very much.
That is fabulous. Thank you very much. So if you want to get in touch with him, Mr. Allen's contact is up there, and you're going to hang out in the room with us for our networking, right? Afterwards till about 10:15, 10:30. That's when we have to kind of tone it down around 10:15. All right, thank you. Is my clicker working? All right, so this is how this is going to work today for the new people. We have an updating presenter, Danielle, and I'm going to hang out with her up here just to give her some confidence in being up here. And she's going to share with us what's happened with her since her last presentation here at 1 Million Cups last year. And she's going to give us one challenge question that she's facing now. And if you would like to give her any suggestions or have an experience that relates to what she's going through right now, we'd like you to come up to the microphone over here on this side because we have a live audience. And then being on the microphone helps everyone in the room to hear and also allows us to give back to our presenters today because they'll get this recording and they probably won't absorb what it is, the magic is that you offer to them. So make sure when you come up here that you're not pitching your own business, that you're coming up here and authentically offering support to that business owner. All of us in the room will know if you're supporting us too because you can tell, you can just tell. All right, and then so Danielle will go, and then after Danielle will be our presenter for today, who is Emefa Boamah. All right, all the rules are down. Let's go. Here you go, Danielle. Stay close, we have to stay close. I don't, oh,
And now what's your box?
okay, well, oh, you got the clicker, so you're good. My why, so I started baking a very long time ago. I'm gonna try to be as concise as possible, because I feel like I've said all this. I started baking as a kid. I experienced lots of trauma, who hasn't, especially post-pandemic. And I started Yumaste as a way to merge two things that I love to do. I've been practicing mindful meditation for probably about 15 years, and baking again, like I said, since I was a kid. And I put those two things together. You don't want me to tell more about the product? Okay. Go. We'll go on. It's okay. So, I can. So, Yumaste offers consumer packaged cookies and cakes using organic ingredients infused with adaptogens, and all packaged with positive affirmations and a mindfulness exercise for a self-care act as opposed to just a treat. We skipped 24. So this was my challenge for last year. That's
Well, we're not there yet. Here's your
Oh,
box.
you said- yeah.
This is what our product looks like.
Go back to 2024, because this was part of my presentation from last year. So my challenge last year was how to get the affirmations in the package, on the package, because initially I wanted them inside. And I still kind of want that as a takeaway card, so it's something you actually get to keep. We're working on that. But this is how it looked last year, which was not great. And now it looks like this. So I got affirmations on the front. I got different exercises on the back. So you'll get a different, just about different affirmation on every package. I've also started to customize them depending on what I'm doing. And the branding is also completely done. So those were that's why I wanted to go back that slide. That was my takeaway from last year's presentation. Can't believe it was a year. It was like 6 months. I can't believe
It was like a year.
Wow. Okay. So yeah. So from the presentation, I got some good tips on ways to do the affirmations. It definitely helped me practice speaking. I have done a couple of pitches since 1 million cups, which I said I would never do. And the coaches and the community were really, really helpful. It helped me to get comfortable with you guys. The support was great. People like Melissa and Daryl and all the folks that I could just call on to talk me off of a glitch at any moment in the last year. So all of that was they're just indispensable. So if you are starting, if you're new, hook up with any of these guys. And like it really just pushed me to get here, which I can't even believe how much progress I've made. Got a place for fun. Okay, so the big hurdle again was the labels, the design. I did get a new sealer because I was doing these little things by hand, and if you do that, you know how annoying that can be, right? And I am updating packaging, or at least we're planning to do that for this year. Working with Taste the Local Difference. So if you are a food entrepreneur, are there any food entrepreneurs in the building? Food or farm? No food today? Okay, that's a shock. There's always food. Just one. So Taste the Local Difference is a food and farm marketing organization. That's all they do is food, whatever your food product, CPG, farm, whatever it is. And they do all marketing, design, websites. And so they have done my branding. I love them. I will never stop singing their praises. Hey guys, I'm sure you'll see this. They are working on another design for me, and my website just got done. They just redid my website. It launched, a day ago or 2 days ago? And new food photography as well, and product descriptions. It is YumasteMindfulBakery.com. I think they did a really great job. I still have to update some photos, but most of the stuff. So reach out to them if you need food help. For now, I am planning lots of markets this year. So last year was a test year. Last year was figure it out, got all the I's, crossed all the T's. Now I am approved for and starting to do markets. Palmer Park, there's a list, right? One of the fun things I did just this year, where I met Emefa, was the Shine and Rise event in April. It was a women's business event, and they happened to be mindfulness themed. So we aligned really well. I even tailored some of my affirmations to their affirmations for their breakout sessions, which was really great. And I did a mindful dessert table, a sort of a catered table, as opposed to the pop-ups and markets I've been doing. Love that, had a blast, met some amazing people. And so now I kind of want to add that to my offerings because it was just so much fun to do. So, and I think it's a great revenue stream.
Definitely know it's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Here's some lessons you've learned.
So yeah, pop-ups were a tremendous amount of work for anybody who does them. You know, it is, and it's even more when you're doing food. You know, like if you have a packaged product or a bottled product or something that you could just restock, that's great. But when you gotta bake it fresh and then hope people buy it, it's like 8 hours of like yikes. So pop-ups were a lot, very unpredictable money. The table, like I said, catered desserts, and I have a background in catering and event planning. So doing the table was lots of fun. Just being able to put it all out and then have people enjoy it and not worry about, are they gonna like it, are they gonna buy it? Just tons of fun for me. And again, the coaching from Melissa and my other business coaches it's just indispensable. Like she could tell you I was a mess last year when we got ready to do this. I was so terrified. She's like, you're fine now. I'm good. I'm good now. So yeah, that's it. And this year's challenge, since I am starting to now line up events for the year, I am terrible at accounting. I'm going to change that to a positive affirmation. I am getting better at numbers. That's what I'm better at numbers. So see how the problem works? I do it to myself. So that's my challenge for this year, and this is what I'm looking for help with from the community. If anyone has a suggestion for a simple way to keep track, simple bookkeeping until I can actually hire an accountant one day. What's a simple way to do it? And then what's the next? Yeah, so an alternative to QuickBooks, because QuickBooks made me want to pull out my hair. And I understand how to use templates and Excel sheets and things like that, but just because it's so daunting, I never want to do it. So I'll have a pile of receipts and I'm like, really? So anybody have a fast, simple, it doesn't even have to be fast. It just has to be simple and something that, you know, helps me want to do it so that I get through it without, again, pulling out my hair. Yeah. That was really good. Okay, we have a couple minutes for people to come up, but look at that question. How can I motivate myself to actually complete the document? So if anyone has some suggestions about what you do to help motivate you to get your numbers done, please come up and make a suggestion.
Simple alternative to QuickBooks.
Come on up here, Dan. Come on up here. Daryl's gonna do it for me.
Simple motivation, keeping you out of jail. How about that? Right?
Oh, okay, I never thought of it that way.
The IRS is your friend until they're not.
That's true.
There is a program called Wave. Has anybody heard of Wave?
Yeah.
Oh, there's some hands. It's very easy to use. It's free until you need to start hiring employees and stuff. But Wave is free. It's a great program. It's very, very easy to use. And when you get those receipts, take pictures of them like immediately. You got them in your phone. It's easy. You can look at them. You got a pile of them. Okay, I'll come over and start going through those. But I thought Wave was good. But also, oh yeah, much better. But you don't have to pull your hair out. I use QuickBooks. You see what happens. Also because you're in Ferndale and because I work for Oakland Thrive and we provide resources for small businesses, I can get you a 4-hour grant with an accountant.
What?
Yes. Also, we have somebody from the County Aid Society back who is playing on his phone. Accounting Aid Society is a free resource also. So any of you, if you're struggling, you don't have money right now, but you need an accountant, you need a CPA, they have a program that's very, very, very affordable for small businesses. They have an office right here in Ferndale. So that's my 2 cents.
Awesome.
We can get the receipts out.
Thank you, Daryl.
Hi, Joe McCavalli from Avatar Business Consulting and ISM, International Strategic Management. Our CEO is here, Ferris. Everyone say hi to Ferris.
Okay.
Simple. Look at your bank. Just concentrate on your bank book, concentrate on the money that's going on. That's the first thing that you concentrate on. Someone's gonna help you with accounting, you're gonna set up your accounting, but look at the money when it comes out every day. Look at the money where it's coming in every day. And just keep concentrating on that. And don't make it too complicated. Make it as easy as possible for you. Make it work for you, but look at those money going out, money coming in every single second, every day. That's what I do.
So scary. Yeah. Thank you very much, Danielle. You did a great job. Very happy. All right, thank you guys. Hopefully that was helpful. Yes, she did a really good job. Last year, she had a lot to say. She wanted to say it really fast, and she had lots and lots and lots of slides, and she wanted to get everything done before she showed up, and then she came and was really wonderfully. And she's come a long way since presenting her 1 million cups and has partnered with people that were in the room at the time. All right, I'd like to introduce our presenter today, Emefa Boamah, and Embodiment Coaching. Hold one second. This is, if anyone wants to take a picture of Yumaste's stuff, I'm sorry I didn't hold that up there. When our presenter comes up to have her conversation with us, and she has some challenge questions, we'd like you to come up the same way to support Emefa. And then immediately following, we do a few community announcements by slides up here, and then we do a group photo here. We have an amazing organizer, volunteer, Carmen, who also provided our food today. Thank you, Mr. Al, for providing the coffee and the food today. And she's a wonderful photographer. So if you can get together for a group photo afterwards, it becomes the thumbnail of the YouTube video that we're creating now. So just a little housekeeping while you get time to take pictures of Yumaste.
Which reminds me, don't forget to say hello to our online audience.
Oh.
And encourage everyone to follow us on social media.
Hope you heard that, guys. So if you're on YouTube, come to the meetings if you can in person. It's really great. And then try to follow us on social media. And we will do this every single week that we can, live YouTube recordings. So thank you for joining us on YouTube. All right, Emefa, I would love to bring you to the stage here, and you may take over.
Thank you. Thank you. Few housekeeping. Where am I standing to get the voice? Okay.
Well, just a little bit this way. Yep, perfect.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Emefa Boamah, and I'm the founder of Emefa Boamah Embodiment Coaching, which can sound repetitive. But I have quite a bit of slides, and I'm going to practice what I preach by responding to a few things that have shifted based on the time. So I asked this question: what if you could double your team's capacity, create shared team language, reduce reporting time from days to hours in just a few months? I'm going to use the last time I presented at 1 million cups, I got feedback to use case studies to show what I do, because it can be a little hard to explain what I do. I don't fit in boxes. We'll find out in a little bit. And I worked with an organization, so I moved from Texas here. I worked with an organization that was running at about 40% or a bit shorter. Here we go. So before I started working with them, they were operating at 44% capacity. And then after our work, I was able to help them build systems that actually supports them in automating a few things instead of like every single week starting. We also built their own, what I call an embodiment toolkit, because most of them were operating, we gave the image of they were on a train, and the train was moving so fast that they didn't have time to get on or off when they needed to. So our whole intention was like, okay, if the train has to move, how do we get control of the train? How do we decide the ones that are actually driving the train, and then we can make stops as needed? So this is where they were. They had no time to plan because they were working in the business and couldn't zoom out to work on the business. So we're able to figure out where their time is going, where they're losing time, and then use that time to shift how they work. So that's one of the things that we did. And I think the biggest thing leaving by the time that we were done was that they realized that they were human beings before their jobs. And that's really what, I should also say that this was a team of women, and it was also a team of women of color. So their capacity to give and give and give outweighed the fact that they didn't know they were getting tired. They knew it, but they couldn't really make decisions on how to shift
to get more time to do the things that matter. So this is who I am. I'll summarize this by saying that I guide women who are here to do big things in the world, to do that out of the fullness of who they are and not at their cost, AKA remind them they're humans before they do what they do, regardless of whether they're business owners or work in an organization. It's how do you come back into your body, which is where the embodiment comes from. And then from that space, how do you lead? I think there's lots and lots of coaches in the world that can give you mindset and strategy. And then there are people on the other side that can teach you about self-care and how to take care of yourself. But the bridge between the two usually is missing in a sustainable way. And that's the gap, that's the need that I meet. So I had a successful business in Texas. And then I moved here in the middle of the winter in 2023. Remind me to never do that again. Not that I intend to move. I'm not gonna move. And it's just been really, really hard rebuilding my business because the core of my business has shifted as I've evolved. And in Texas, I had wonderful referrals because I was there for 8 years. So I would work with someone and they'll just say, hey, do you need a coach? I know Emefa, and that was very easy. So I didn't have to market my business. Landing here, I hibernated hard. And then I came out in like April 2024, last year. And then once I came out, I was able to meet people, did a lot of work. I'll talk about what I do, what I've done in the past and how that works. I was gonna use a picture for this. If you go to my Instagram page, I say when people ask me, what do you do? I have 3 pictures. One, I'm wearing a suit, which speaks to the strategic part because I can speak that language. The second one is me speaking at an event, which goes to the somatic part because I teach people how to work from their bodies. And it's the education piece of like, what does embodiment actually mean? Or what does somatics actually mean, which is a huge part. And then the third one is me leading an event where I do breathwork practices as well. And that's the entryway for people because when people realize that they can use their breath to change their internal landscape and then get actionable insights from that to actually make a difference, it always blows their mind. So those are the 3 tenets of what I do. Now, I hear some laughter. So I have a client here, and actually I'm gonna go here first because that will give you this of what I do. So I have free events that I've partnered with co-working spaces, and I offer things for free as an entryway. Breathwork is one of them. I do AI workshops with people because they're like, wait, you talk to your ancestors and you work with AI? Yes, different sides of the same coin. I brought on a digital marketing strategist to help with my storytelling, and then I launched my resource hub, which is my podcast and newsletters for the education piece. Because I realized that this takes a lot of work trying to explain to people what I do before I get them to work with me. It just takes too much time, and the effort output to what I get back is not worth it. So I launched the resource hub so people can find bite-sized ways of getting to what I do. And then what I learned here, I'm actually going to go to the first one. Because of how personal what I do is, my sales cycle is about 4 to 6 months. And this is what it looks like. People experience me at a free event, and then they come into a mid-tier event, which usually is like about 5 weeks of just really getting to understand themselves before they convert to my high-ticket offerings, which is beautiful. I would have it no other way because their nervous system trusts me. But then my challenge is, how do I actually get recurring revenue in between those sales cycles? Because I have to eat, I have bills to pay, and I can't wait 4 to 6 months to be able to do those. So that's really, really my challenge. Which goes to what didn't work, referrals. They work sometimes. And when I make posts, my business coach told me this: I can be very inspirational, but it's hard for me to convert it to a CTA for people. I see people nodding because selling really is not really my field. And I will take a cue from Danielle and say, I'm not gonna say I'm bad at sales. I'm getting better about inviting people to come work with me. And I also don't have a lot of energy because I'm still running my own team. I'm the CEO, the marketing specialist. I'm doing everything by myself. So until I can get a team, I want to put in not necessarily minimum effort, maximum output. So that's really what I'm trying to get to until I hire someone. And this is my conversation. And again, I will respond, that's a lot. What really feels important to me is I want to work with organizations who want to support their teams, right? Because the one-to-many mix really makes me, that's where my joy, that's what brings me alive. So what strategies have you seen work or not work when trying to connect organizations that say they value their people, but really do not put their words to their actions, or they actually don't understand who they're looking for or how they could support them, right? Because I get the question a lot of like, what's the ROI for you to lead my team through a wellness event, and we can get into the numbers. And then if you were in my shoes, because I saw a lot of people nodding, I know my method works. I have evidence, I have case studies. It works, it just takes time. And in a fast-paced world where people are looking for quick fixes, I'm not for people who are looking for quick fixes. But if you're in my shoes and you had a really slow sales cycle, which I actually don't desire to change, how would you approach building this steady, sustainable, monthly recurring revenue streams? That's it. How do I bring in money in the meantime while I'm nurturing those relationships? I think that's it.
Yeah. Well,
That's what I need.
Yep.
Here, okay, that's it.
Well done. I mean, amazing presenters today, right? And thank you also for the coffee presentation and for Ginger speaking up here. So if you have some suggestions for Emefa, we're going to go back to her challenge question. Please come on up here and offer experiences that you've had. I recognize some people in the room that are similar at the capacity, the amazing capacity that you contain. And maybe there's some things that you can suggest that have worked for you or that you've tried so that she can know how to move forward with her next steps. We're going to start with the amazing Tanisha, so let me get out of the way.
Good morning again, Tanisha Molden, Molden Law, intellectual property attorney. Hi, everyone. So I think you great presentation and what you do, and I think you obviously you have some of the solutions already. It's just a matter of how to strategize around it. You mentioned the resource hub, and that is free.
Yes, it's absolutely free. So it contains my podcast for education. It contains a meditation so people can have a felt sense of what I actually do, and then it mentions them. And then there's a blog.
Okay, so in that, with the resource hub, are you gathering information, email and whatnot? So these people that are in there, what is the next step for them?
So if they sign up for my newsletter, I usually take them through a process of nurturing them, and then again, I send out weekly newsletters, and in those newsletters, I provide actual resources from like, okay, what we're thinking, to how they can implement those changes. And I usually get responses from people as well.
So are any of them converting to?
Yes.
So if that is working for you, then whatever you're doing there, just times it times 10. Whatever you just up what you're doing, the activity for that, and get more people in the resource hub and keep doing what you're doing and converting them.
That makes sense. My body is responding, that's a lot, times 10 is a lot.
Well, times 10, that's just me.
Literal.
That's just me. But no, times 3.
No, that makes sense because that is what I just did in launching. So I opened doors to a program yesterday, which is 5-week program. And I think 2 or 3 of them actually came from listening to my podcast, being part of my social media. So that's converting really well and putting them in a one-to-many group. And that's when the sales cycle really starts, is how I see it. Right. So it's working.
Yeah, and one of the things what I do and what I'm doing now is I'm evaluating my system, my customer client lead funnel, and what can AI do to duplicate myself and move things faster. So there might be something that you can do in there, like automating the DMs or messages and things like that to move them faster so you can show up and convert them.
Thank you. We need to have an AI conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Jewel and I get crystallized, so so let me ask this first. How comfortable are you with video? Are you good with video?
I love video.
I would love to, are you on YouTube? I didn't see you.
I have YouTube. I just haven't, I don't post a lot on it. Right now, my two main streams are LinkedIn and Instagram.
Okay.
Which is why I have a lot of my content.
How often are you on LinkedIn?
A few times per week. I have a content schedule about at least 3 times a week.
So the reason I ask that is like, I love your energy, I guess we should say. And I think you will be amazing on YouTube. There are a lot of different people in that area of mindfulness out there, but I feel like you're unique. And so that is, and plus the audience that LinkedIn people, they love to learn, and LinkedIn and YouTube is kind of like that place where they go for life. So that I would love to see you there. And then I personally just went through this, what you're talking about. And so I had a lot of different lead magnets and themes to help explain what I do. And it's been really challenging. But what I settled on is if you can find one thing that really gives value to your audience. That audience part is kind of difficult. You have to do some work and iterate on who that is. But just find one thing and then do your map out your system: sales, marketing, and customer experience. I call that revenue operations. And that will save you time and effort, because then you have one message, and then you can kind of trickle on those people during your sales cycle. And then maybe it's an ebook, maybe it's a video, maybe you do like 5 or 6 YouTube videos on a particular topic, then you can bundle that together as a course and then market and sell the course to the people that are in your newsletter listing, right? To get additional revenue while you are kind of warming them up for your system.
Thank you. Also, thank you for the compliment. I was like, shimmy.
Hello. Right there. I know the rules.
Right, the
Good
usual.
to see you. I understand that you have that longer process to get them to the dollars. I'm wondering if you build some tiers, and there's this entry level, like, cool, here's the YouTube, here's this one-on-one level. But if you were to establish like a Patreon where there is a subscription where people have access to your knowledge, because it is already so much work that you're doing to give the free stuff. Even though it's the free stuff, that's work too. So that's value as well. So if you had a Patreon, you can have different levels of that. And a Patreon is a monthly subscription. It can be $9.99, $5.99. Like Amanda Seals has 40 of them, like a million different tiers, because she's not on Instagram anymore. She's not on YouTube because she wants to not, right? So like if you want to access me and my stuff, you got to pay for it. And it doesn't have to be a course. You're paying for access to me. And then if the course is an add-on, then that's more too. But it's a way to get $6 per person every month as a side. And then once they're a client, then that's even more. You know what I mean?
When you said access, my body was like,
you know what I mean? Because you're just like, I'm here, and here's my time, and here's my energy, and here's my work. But also, okay. So maybe that's a way that you can do that and build tiers in until they're ready, right? Okay.
thank you.
Why are you so far away?
Hello, I'm Alicia, business coach. Nice to meet you. One of the things that I did when I wanted to have like more consistent revenue was because when it's just you have to put a lot of effort in a lot of areas. So I found organizations or companies that I could partner with that were either have my same market or looking for what I offered. And because you have the longer journey that you want to be with people, maybe targeting those organizations who also have maybe the same process that you have. It's worked out really well for me because it also helped me get back some of my time because those people are, without knowing it, without knowing it, they're out there advocating for not just their business, but you as their partner, and they help in those clients. So you have more people with the hands on. So, and yes, to Carmen and the Patreon, that's a wonderful idea.
Thank you.
Emefa, thank you very much for presenting it.
Thank you so much.
I can't imagine moving from Texas to Michigan. But indeed, I did do that from South India to here, to Michigan.
Yes.
I know how exactly it feels like. So two things that I noticed in your presentation, I thought I would bring the value to you is one is in order to grab the time back into your pocket, you need to have a business operating system, which will connect all the dots in your site, in your at least operations side. Marketing is a big animal that's, I can't imagine anybody cracking it to have a full automation on it, but that's a different story. But at least the business side, you can make a business operating system that can take along everything. If you want me to explain it furthermore, by all means, pull me up. And two things on the sales side is one, I would like to recommend books, 2 of the books that helped me tremendously when I was started Unique Solutions, an IT firm, technician turned business owner. 2 of the books, one is Skills with People by Les Giblin, which is only 20-page book.
Thank you.
But the concepts are extremely powerful. You won't get those concepts into practice by reading it once. I read it at least 10 times. And to the extent that I actually read it as a bedtime book for my children.
Wow.
So it's extremely powerful. At that time, they were 6 and 7. Now they are 20. But that's extremely powerful book. I highly recommend you to read it, grasp concepts, and make it second part of your body. Les Giblin. And another book which most of the people knows here is E-Myth Revisited.
E-Myth
Yes.
Revisited.
Yes.
Great book.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a business book that gives you clarity on how the systems should be in place for business goals. So that's a big book, and it takes a while for you to read it. And yes, you can listen. You can listen. So those are the 2 things that I strongly believe made a big difference for me when I became technician turned business owner. And I hope that will be helpful for you.
Thank you. May I repeat just to make sure? So business operating system, you have that set up. 2 books, Skills with People and E-Myth Revisited. Okay, beautiful. Thank you so much. I'll come see you after.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ferris Alamy International Strategic Management, ISM. Sorry about that. So 2 things. One, I'm going to be the guy in the room that you might not like because I always feel you have to make it. When I hear social media stuff, I hear hiding behind the scene and not willing to face the challenges. Sales does require to hear no. You just have to accept that fact, swallow that pill, and just know that you're going to hear a lot of no's. But the marketing effort are different than the sales effort. So when you make a lot of noise, someone has to follow up. And as you know, sales is all about follow-ups and closing. You got to make those calls. So sure, if someone likes your post, someone reposts it, whatever, those are nice. It does not mean cash. You got to pick up the phone, follow up with an email, follow up again. It's a process. We actually have a whole blog about the power of 17 in marketing. It's all about understanding what would it take for you to get that sale closed. And it's all about simple things. It's really the simple things, what it is. Calls, follow-ups, calls, follow-ups, calls, follow-ups. Accept the no, move on to the next one. Or accept the yes. But you have to accept it. And a lot of times people just want to hide accepting it. You just got to face it. As far as revenue streams, I think it sounds like you have a lot of different ways to do the revenue streams. My suggestion would be just
don't really like to suggest things because I don't remember what your business said. But I'm gonna go back to follow-ups, come up with a process that you can continue to. And you still gotta do all your other stuff for marketing. Still gotta do all the social media stuff. But you gotta come up with a simple system. You say, all right, I'm gonna make 3 calls today. This is who I'm gonna call. Because at the end of the day, we all know it's 100 calls a week. You get about 1 or 2 of them closed and you move on. So until you, and maybe it's 100 calls a month, whatever you want to make it. It's just you call, it sounds like you're busy. So you have to decide that. My answer to you is 1, accept making those calls and face those challenges and move on. And then 2nd, come up with a way that you can follow up. You can follow my Power of 7 in marketing. There's a blog, there's a book, there's a course, but some of it is free online. Some of it is not. So, but you can follow that, and that would be my advice. Just take the challenge, accept the no, and face them.
Thank you. Did you talk to my partner? Because he's always like, you need to make more sales conversation. He's sitting over there. Like, did you guys talk together? Thank you so much.
I guess I'm a little late because most of the people said everything. I want to concentrate on one thing and one thing only. You know, we're all entrepreneurs in this room. Most of us are solopreneurs, right? We're doing it ourselves. We're doing everything. We're selling and we're trying new things and we're innovating. But I suggest that you don't concentrate on selling. You concentrate on the very end of selling, which is closing, and just do that only, as much as you can. So we always say ABC.
Always be closing.
Closing is everything. Selling is nothing, okay? Think of it in those terms, and it might be a little bit better. And why did it work? And then once you figure out why it works, then you got to innovate and do it all over again differently.
ABC.
ABC.
I'm excited about what you're doing. It's really about person. And the storytelling kind of hit me because when I talk to young people, 12 weeks of boot camp, they gave me a gun. Never had a gun in my hands. So what you're doing, my only thought is, when I'm thinking of it, is summer camps for kids, younger kids. As a senior, I would like to hire you, but when I hear certified transformation embodiment coach, what the hell? So I think I toned that down a little bit. But I'm just saying the market, because everybody I talk to out in the marketplace your age, you can't find any good help, and they need a lot of direction. And I think you had a great opportunity. I'd also look at my fan, and I'm looking at that. I don't know how far it's going to go, but
My one.
my fan page. My fan. There's people on there making $9 million a month. I just check it out. I mean, it is. It's $9 million a month. Hubba.
Thank you.
I'm Jeremiah. My suggestion is, I think you should have think tanks. Just create like the in-person community, like how we have here, and just your free work resources, your intellect, just provide what you can do. Just showing people what you have to offer, and then just having them seek you out. So I feel like think tanks is probably my suggestion.
Thank you. One of the things that I found work incredibly well is partnering with organizations like Boamah. So I'm about to start a mastermind there for entrepreneurs for that. Thank you, Jeremiah. So people can actually get to see in practice what that looks like, and having standing monthly, so addressing both the body part through breath work once a month, and also having the strategic part so they can actually see, because once they experience it and their nervous system understands it, it's like the closing is done for me, really. So thank you to every single person for your feedback. My elephant brain has it here. So, thank you.
Thank you so much, Emefa. Thank you guys. All right, that was some really great support. We just have a couple of events to run through. So Daryl, if you want to run through those, this first one on the right there, the left to you, is happening here tonight from 5:30 to 7:30. It's the one that Saidi spoke about last week. Thrive together, balance, resilience, and success to people to help each other.
Emefa should be here for that tonight.
Emefa, you should be here for that tonight, Daryl says, if you want to consider going to that. And then Women Who Thrive, that's on May 29th. So we're going to start promoting that as we go. The next slide is the cigar event. I don't know if you were here, lots of you were here last week. You heard him talk about the cigar event. That's at the same time tonight.
That's tonight.
Yeah, that's come out. Danielle is a regular at the cigar networking event. And then this workshop is with David. David, stand up just for a second. David hides in the front. Like David is one of the people that helped us market 1 million cups. Make sure that those awesome LinkedIn things that you see about 1 million cups are David. And he also is currently doing our Instagram. So, and he's looking for a replacement because he really wants to do these things, right, as an organizer. So this is actually an Instagram event. It's $25 if you are a member of the Madison Heights Hazel Park Chamber, and $35 if you're not a member, but it includes lunch. And what's the dates?
Well,
June 12th. So we'll be putting this up off and on here if you would like to consider someone that can really help you do well with Instagram. Then I think, is this the last one, Daryl?
there's one more after this.
Okay, so I just want to mention Kaufman Fast Track. This is just a mention this week, but Kaufman Fast Track is another 1 Million Cups program that helps startup entrepreneurs. And Thrive, our community sponsor, Daryl and his team here in Jamar, they have invested in providing this program. That's an 8-week-long program that brings you through 5 stages of entrepreneurship. So it is for startup entrepreneurs or people who have been an entrepreneur and are looking to pivot. It's going to be held at the Riker Building in Pontiac on Wednesday nights from 6 to 8:30, and I will be the facilitator as part of Harris's team, International Strategic Management. So the application will be up on the website very soon, and you'll be able to apply for that.
That's it.
And now our last slide is our group picture. So thank you all for coming to 1 Million Cups, for staying quiet and being supportive of our presenters. We hope you continue to come back, just like our friends in Ann Arbor visit here every now and then. And thank you, Al, for coffee, and Incubizo for the space, and all the great resources from Thrive. So thank you guys very much. If you want to see where your picture is going to show up, that's the QR code, and we would love you to gather up front here. Carmen, where would you like this today? Right up here. Come on up here where I am. We're going to turn off the microphone. We're going to say bye to our YouTube community. Thanks, guys, for joining today. And it's time for group picture and networking. Okay, thanks, everyone.
Right.
If you have not logged in, there's an iPad somewhere. If you haven't registered,